Hi, I'm Arthur, and here are 7 ways you can take your piano playing to the next level using chords. They'll move you away from a basic beginner style of playing and introduce a more professional sound, including one called the shadow technique. So look out for that. But best of all, you can use them on any chord progression. But to keep things simple, we're going to be using the 1, 4, 6, 5 chord progression in the key of C. So C major, F major, A minor and G major. Now this first one is great if you're just starting out because it can turn a basic chord progression using chords in root position, which is what beginners do, like this, into something like this. Now, what I was using there were chord inversions. Now, a chord inversion is where you change the order of the notes in a chord. For example, when you first start learning chords, you learn the C major like this. And that's called C major in root position, because the C is at the bottom of the chord there. So if you then take that C and put it up 1 full octave and keep the other 2 notes the same, so the E and the G, that's the same chord, but the order of the notes have changed. That is called the C major first inversion. So then if you do that again, you take the bottom of the chord, which is now an E, and you move that up an octave to the E there, and again you keep the other 2 notes the same. That is called a C major second inversion. And if you do it once more, take the G this time, up an octave, then keep the other 2 notes the same. That's a C major, again in root position, but 1 octave higher from when you started. So that's what chord inversions are. And you can use them to change the sound of a chord progression, but also to make the transitions between the chords easier. Because you're not having to jump between the chords like this. You can go to the nearest inversion instead. The next way to level up your playing is by using broken chords. And again, these are perfect for beginners because you're using the same notes in the chords, except rather than playing them at the same time, you're going to break them up. For example, so with these broken chords, all you need to do is use the notes from the chord but play them one at a time. And you just basically apply a pattern and you can make the pattern up. For example, you take the C major chord, think about it like that's the bottom, that's the middle, and that's the top of the chord. So you could play middle, bottom, top, or bottom, middle, top, or top, middle, bottom. That's it. And you can apply them to inversions as well. So you could do the C major second inversion, and you could play bottom, middle, top, or middle, bottom, top. And that's it, just playing around with the order of the notes one at a time. And I'd advise maybe adding some rhythm as well. So you could play a chord like this: 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Yeah? Just keep it simple. We're going to play first inversion on the F. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and A minor. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. So I was playing around with the notes, keeping the rhythms nice and simple, but then once you get used to that you can explore, try playing around with the rhythms and playing around with the patterns as well. Another broken chord pattern you can use, which is a bit quicker, goes like this. So taking the C major root position again, you go bottom, top, middle, bottom, middle, top. Then applied to the chord progression, you'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it, broken chords. huge part of playing piano using chords is rhythm. It's all about the rhythm. So here's a great rhythmic technique that you can use which adds energy but also that bit of extra quality to a progression. And it sounds like this. And it's cool, isn't it? Because it's just a basic chord progression, but with that rhythmic effect, it just adds that little extra bit of pizzazz. Pizzazz. Anyway, so here's how to do it. So what you're doing here is you're creating rhythms between your left and your right hand. And what I want you to do is play an octave in your left hand, but don't play them at the same time. Don't worry if you can't stretch an octave. I'll show you another way quickly after. But first of all, here's the way to do it with the octave. So you play the C, and then you go rocking up to the C above. Then your right hand plays the chord. It could be any inversion, but I'll just show you the C root position first of all. And then you go back down to your thumb on the octave below, like this. And a bit faster. And that's it. And you can play it on any chord. How do you fit it in, I hear you ask me? Well, here's how you do it. So you play it normally on the first 3 beats like this. 1, 2, 3. And then just before the 4th beat, you play your low octave. And then on the 4th beat, you play the thumb on the octave above. And then your right hand then plays the C chord and then back down. And if we're being technical, we're going to go for and. If you don't know what that means, don't worry for now. Just try to copy the rhythm there. But you go 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. On the F chord, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that's it. And then you can speed it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. And that's it. Next one. Like with broken chords, you can use arpeggios to make your playing sound more impressive. For example, so an arpeggio is when you play through the chord one note at a time. So a similar idea to a broken chord, but rather than doing different patterns, what you're going to do is play through the, for example, C major from the bottom, middle, top, and then you go up an octave to the C above and then back down. So that'd be the arpeggio of C major, but 1 octave, but then you can do 2 octaves of the same thing. So you play C, E, G, then you bring your thumb underneath to the C, and then you just go through the chord, and then 5 on top to the C above. And when you get to your thumb there, you go over with your 3rd finger onto the G, 2nd on the E, thumb on the C, like that. And you can play arpeggios on any of the chords. For example, the F major. Starting on the F, through the chord, and then thumb underneath to the F above. 5 on top. Over the 3rd to the C. And that's it. On the A minor. And then G major. And you can add those anywhere into chord progressions. But for the moment, I'm just going to show you a nice simple way to apply them. So we're going to take just the 1 octave arpeggio, and what I want you to do is play it from the 3rd to the 4th beat. So play normally on the first 2, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so on the third beat I was going 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you can play that for the rest of the progression. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it. And then once you get used to it, you can do the same thing, but try applying it to some of the inversions as well, like this. If you're enjoying my style of teaching, then you may be interested in my range of online piano courses, particularly the Ultimate Piano Chords course, which will take you step by step, all the way from scratch to being able to play really impressive piano without having to learn to read a single note. I'll leave a link in the description below. Another way to level up your chord playing is by using add chords. Now, an add chord is when you add another note into a chord. And the one I'm going to give you is super simple to learn and really effective. This is what it sounds like. Don't they sound satisfying? I think they add a really nice mellow quality. So here's how to play them. So what you do is you go up one full step from the root of the chord. So C major, up a full step would be 2 semitones, so 1, 2. That would take you to the D. So then what you're doing is you're playing that D, you're adding that into the chord. So you could call that a C add 2, because 1, 2, like that. If you're playing an octave underneath, it could also be called a C add 9, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because if you're playing chords and inversions, it kind of changes it up. But either way, C add 2 or C add 9, just adding up that one step from the root. So then on the F, you take your chord and then up one full step from the root, so that would be a G. And again, A minor, and then G major. And then you just add them into the progression. And you don't have to play them all the time on every chord. I'm just going to go to the A minor down here. Again, I'm just moving in and out. Nice and chilled. That's another thing you can use to make it sound a bit different. Okay, so we're nearly there. And this second to last technique I'm going to show you is really effective. And it's using suspended chords. So a suspended chord is when you're holding another note inside a chord which isn't normally there. And then it often is resolved to the original chord. And they sound like this. So here's how you can introduce some suspended chords into that progression. So a really common one and a nice simple one is a sus4 chord, short for suspended fourth. So it's just like counting. If you've got your C major, just count up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is your C sus4 chord. So then you can hear that tension is there, and then you can resolve the chord, which means go back to the original, the C chord there. So then if we want to go to the F chord, what we're using here are perfect fourths. A perfect fourth is technically, we go back to the C, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 semitones or half steps. So then if you go to the F major, you just count up 4 white keys. Whoa, clash. So you need to count up by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 semitones, and that will take you to the perfect fourth every time, no matter the chord. So then you just found the B flat, so that's your F sus 4 chord, then you can resolve it. A minor, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's the 4th, so that's your A sus 4. And then you can resolve to the A minor chord. Then finally, the G here, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that'd be the G sus 4. And you can resolve it. But then you can add that into your chord progression like this. Nice and simple. I'm just playing 1, 2, sus on the 3rd beat. Just add some variety, doesn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. You can also use the second from the previous technique I showed you. So use that add 2 as a suspended 2 like this. Just moving between them. And it sounds nice, doesn't it? And another thing you can do is move to other chords in the progression before you get to them. I'll show you what I mean. So if you've got the C chord, you can go to the F chord within the C bar like this. So you're suspending the F chord over the C. So then you could go to the F major chord, and you can move to the G if you want, or the A minor. Yeah? Yeah? Go to the A minor, and I could move up to the G, then go to the G, and go back to the A minor. And on to the last one. This one is called the shadow technique. You can also call it the echo technique, but it's super effective. And what it does is it adds a nice subtle rhythm to a simple chord progression. And it won't take me long to show you it, so here's how to do it. So what you're going to do is you're going to play an octave root in your left hand, and we're going to play a nice simple rhythm in the right hand, but think about it like your left hand is shadowing whatever your right hand is doing, or echoing. So for example, if you're going to play on the 1, 2, 3, 4 in your right hand, your left hand's going to play a low octave on the 1, and then it's going to echo the right hand rhythm in between the beats like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. But quietly and subtly. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah? So you play an accent, a bit more pressure on the low one, and then the higher octave, it's subtle and quiet. But then what you can do is double up the rhythm, like this. And notice also in the right hand, I'm doing accents on the first beat, but also in between I'm quieter. And it just has a nice feel to it, but also keeps that rhythm going. Alright, so that did end up being a longer video than I originally planned, but I really hope you enjoyed those 7 different ways that you can level up your piano chord playing. I want to know though which one was your favourite, so which one's the one you're going to be diving into now and learning. Leave your favourite in the comments below because I want to see what you're into. If you want to keep on learning about piano chords, then I think you'll find this video really interesting, which will teach you about the secret of secondary dominance, which can transform simple chord progressions. Anyway, don't forget to check out my online courses over on my website. There is a discount code in the description below which will save you some money. I've been Arthur, and thanks for watching.